My name is Ethan Parker. I'm 36, American, work a normal office job in a mid-sized company, the kind of steady 9 to 5 that pays the mortgage, funds the occasional vacation, and doesn't impress anyone at a cocktail party. For most of our 11 years together, 8 of them married. I honestly thought that was enough. Stability, routine. A wife who said she loved that I was solid. Lauren Parker. Same last name, same house, shared bed, shared life. Nothing glamorous, just ours. The night everything really started, it was a quiet Saturday. I was at the dining table with my laptop open, finishing a boring expense report I hadn't gotten to during the week. TV off. Just the soft hum of the dishwasher and the occasional car passing outside. I heard her heels before I saw her. Click, click, click. Then she walked past my chair toward the front door. Black mid-thigh dress, fitted and smooth. The kind she used to wear on anniversaries. Makeup perfect. Lips this deep red that looked almost casual but not quite. Like she'd spent time getting it effortless. And then the smell hit me. That perfume. I bought it for her 3 years ago in Paris, on a trip we'd scraped and saved for. We wandered into some tiny shop near the Seine, and she fell in love with that scent. She'd only ever worn it for us. Maybe a handful of times, on nights that ended with candles burned down low and clothes on the floor. She didn't wear it for work. She didn't wear it for friends. It was our thing. Wow, I said, glancing up from the screen. You're dressed up for Italian food. She paused, just for a heartbeat. Enough for me to notice. It's Sarah's birthday, she said, grabbing her clutch from the console table. We're doing dinner and drinks downtown. I told you yesterday. She didn't quite look at me when she said it. Her eyes skimmed past me. Over my shoulder, at the wall, at nothing. That was the first tick. Lauren has tells. I know them better than I know my own. She tucks her hair behind her ear when she's nervous. She touches her left earlobe when she lies. The small, quick, like she's checking her earring. Right? I said. Girls' night. Yeah, she answered, a little too fast. Girls' night. Her hand went straight to her ear. Second tick. I watched the way her lipstick looked slightly smudged at the top edge, like she'd fixed it more than once. The dress was a level above dinner with the girls. The heels too. And the perfume, that was 2 levels above. You guys going to that place on 5th? I asked casual. The one with the brick oven? She shifted the strap of her purse on her shoulder. No, Sarah wanted that new Italian place near the river. I don't remember the name. Lauren usually knows every name, every menu, every detail. Third tick. I nodded like this all made sense, like I wasn't cataloging every inconsistency in real time. Have fun, I said. Text me if you drink too much. I'll come get you. She finally met my eyes then, but only for a second, like it cost her something. I'll just Uber, she replied. Don't wait up, okay? Fourth tick. Lauren hates riding alone with strangers at night. Says it creeps her out. Has for years. I felt something shift inside me. It wasn't a sharp pain or some dramatic movie moment. It was quieter than that. Like a light dimming. The husband part of me, the one that wants to support, trust, and not rock the boat, tried to stand up. She deserves a night out. You're being paranoid. She works hard. Let it go. Then the scent of that perfume moved through the room again, clean and expensive and heavy with memory. And something colder stepped in front of that voice. Supportive husband stepped back. Quiet observer took his place. All right, I said, closing my laptop halfway. Be safe. She leaned down and kissed my cheek. I noticed she turned her face just enough to avoid smudging her lipstick. When she pulled away, I didn't smell wine or food or anything expected. Just that perfume. Love you, she said. You too, I replied. Not I love you. Just you too. I heard the difference even if she didn't. The door closed behind her, and the house swallowed the sound. No TV. No music. Just the refrigerator cycling on and off and the faint echo of her heels on the front steps. Then nothing. I sat there with my laptop open, the cursor blinking on an unfinished spreadsheet, but I wasn't seeing numbers anymore. I was replaying the last 10 minutes frame by frame. Black dress, Anniversary perfume. Avoided eye contact. Hand to the ear. New Italian place she couldn't name. Fearless about Uber suddenly. I thought about the last few months. The late gym nights. The phone that never left her hand. The way she'd roll to the far edge of the bed and say she was just tired. All of that had been noise. Annoying but explainable. The perfume was different. That scent was a line in the sand. She'd crossed it without hesitating. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the door she just walked through, and felt it clearly. This clean, straight crack running right down the middle of my trust. Not shattered, not yet, just fractured. And for the first time in our marriage, I realized something simple and ugly. I didn't believe her. Lauren got home late that night, sometime after 1 a.m. I heard the door open, heard her heels in the entryway, softer and less steady than when she'd left. I stayed in bed, eyes closed, breathing slow. She moved through the room in the dark, thinking I was asleep. I caught the faint traces of her perfume under another smell. Cheap bar alcohol, maybe cologne that wasn't mine. The mattress dipped beside me. No attempt to curl in. No hand on my back. Just a careful, guilty stillness. In the morning, the story was simple. Sarah got too drunk, she said, rolling her eyes over coffee. We had to get her home. I crashed at her place. You were out cold when I checked in, so I didn't wake you. I nodded like I bought it. I didn't ask follow-ups. I logged every word instead. That whole day I functioned like a normal man. Work, emails, small talk, but it felt like someone had unplugged something inside my chest. I watched myself from a few feet back. That night the house was quiet again. Too quiet. No TV. No music. Just the tick of the wall clock in my home office. 10:43 p.m. I sat at my desk, the room lit only by my laptop screen. My fingers hovered over the keys, and my brain tried one last time to talk me out of it. You're overreacting. You'll embarrass yourself. She's tired, stressed, that's all. I opened a browser anyway and typed, private investigators near me. The list came up. Names, numbers, websites with stock photos of serious people in suits. It felt ridiculous and dead serious at the same time. I clicked one, Thompson and Associates. Local. Discreet. 24-hour line. My hands felt detached from my body as I dialed. Thompson and Associates. This is Richard. A calm male voice answered. I swallowed once. I need to talk to someone about possible infidelity, I said. The word sounded foreign coming out of my mouth, like it belonged to someone else's life. Richard didn't flinch. All right, sir. I'll need some information. Your name? Ethan Parker. Okay, Ethan. Your wife's name? Lauren Parker. Tell me what's going on. I kept it short. The perfume. The lies that didn't quite line up. The late nights. The sudden comfort with Uber. The girls' night didn't feel like one. His questions were methodical, stripped of emotion. Her car make, model and color? License plate. Description of her? Where does she say she's going when she goes out? Any regular spots? I answered all of it, staring at the wedding photo on my bookshelf. Lauren in white, me in a rented tux, both of us smiling like idiots who believed in forever. Richard laid it out plainly. We can put a team on her tonight if she goes out, or for the next time she does. Surveillance, timestamps, photos. We document patterns. You'll have a preliminary report by morning. Standard retainer is... He told me the number. It wasn't cheap. It also wasn't even close to what I'd lose in a blind divorce if I stayed stupid. Do it, I said. He took my email, sent over a simple agreement. I read every line. Then I signed, wired the retainer, and stared at the confirmation screen like it belonged to another guy. When we hung up, the house felt even quieter. 11 p.m. midnight. 1 a.m. I sat on the couch with my phone in my hand. TV off. The room dark. My eyes kept drifting to that wedding photo on the mantel. 11 years of memories lined up behind it like soldiers. First apartment, cheap furniture, frozen pizza nights, the Paris trip where I bought her that perfume. I replayed the last 3 months instead. Late gym session. Don't wait up. Team drinks, networking, it's important. Her phone is face down on the table. Her body in bed, turned away from me, like someone had moved her further in the night. I realized I'd been giving myself little speeches. She's just stressed. She's getting older and wants to feel attractive. You're being insecure. At 2:47 a.m., my phone buzzed. New email. Subject: Preliminary report, Lauren Parker. I opened it. First line: Meridian Hotel, room 412. Arrived at 8:31 p.m. with an unidentified tall, dark-haired male believed to be Jordan. Still inside as of 2:40 a.m. There were a couple of grainy photos attached. Her car. Her walking into the side entrance on his arm. The dress. The perfume I could still smell in my head. My thumb hovered over Richard's number. I pressed the call. He answered on the second ring. Thompson and Associates. Richard speaking. It's Ethan, I said, voice steady. Keep going. Document everything. I don't care how bad it is. I want the whole truth. Understood, he replied. When I hung up, I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just sat there, staring at the email, feeling something inside of me harden into resolve. If my marriage was going to die, it wasn't taking my mind or my future with it. After that hotel email, the house stopped feeling like home and started feeling like a crime scene. Lauren was still asleep when I left for work that morning. Hair spread on the pillow, breathing slowly. Same woman I'd promised forever to. I stood there for a second, looking at her, and all I could see was room 412. On my lunch break, I drove back home. I didn't slam drawers or turn the place upside down. I moved slow, calculated. If my trust was dead, I wanted a cause of death. Our bedroom smelled like her body spray and fabric softener. Sunlight through the blinds cut the room into clean lines. I went to her dresser first. Top drawer, the one I never touched. My stuff, she always called it. I opened it anyway. The usual, folded shirts, leggings, the kind of clutter you collect in a life together, old receipts, hair ties, a few random photos. I kept going. Second drawer. Third. In the back corner under a stack of sweaters, my hand hit something solid. I pulled it out. An iPhone. Older model, no case. One I'd never seen, but familiar enough to feel like a ghost of an old upgrade. For a second my brain tried to play dumb. Spare phone. Old backup. Perfectly normal. Then I remembered how she joked months ago about trading in her old one and getting every dollar out of it. This wasn't traded in. This was buried. I took it to my home office, plugged it into the wall, and watched the black screen as the battery icon finally appeared. While it charged, I made coffee I didn't really want. The house felt staged, like a set built to look like a marriage, not live in one. The phone booted. No passcode. That alone told me everything I needed to know. You don't lock what you don't care about losing. I opened messages. There was one main thread at the top. Name Jay. I started scrolling. It didn't take long for Jay to turn into Jordan Cole, her personal trainer from Elite Fitness. And it didn't take long for the messages to go from friendly to absolutely, undeniably more than that. I miss you already. He's working late. Can you come over? I think I'm falling for you. Some texts I read once and never want to remember word for word. They were detailed enough that there was no room for innocent explanations. This wasn't emotional confusion or a one-time mistake. This was a parallel relationship. Then came the photos. Lauren in lingerie I'd never seen. Lauren in his apartment, the same dark couch in the background, over and over. Bathroom selfies at the gym, at restaurants I'd never heard about. All time-stamped, all neat, all logged. My coffee went cold next to me. I scrolled back months. Birthdays. Holidays. At night she told me she was exhausted, or just needed girl time. They were all there, mapped out in digital ink. At 6:30 a.m., I heard her car in the driveway. Early gym run before work. Like nothing was wrong. I locked the screen, put the phone face down on my desk, and sat very still. In my hands, I wasn't just holding a device. I was holding the second life she'd built while smiling at me across the dinner table. She walked in after girls' night, like nothing in the world was wrong. The door opened. Keys hit the bowl, heels on hardwood. I was at my desk in the corner of the living room. Same laptop, same chair, same husband she thought she was slowly phasing out. "Hey," she called, voice light. "You're still up?" "Yeah," I said, not turning around yet. "Got some stuff to finish." She stepped into view. Makeup smeared just enough to look long night but not wrecked. Hair a little messy in a way that sells as cute. The kind of look you come home with when you've been out living a life your spouse doesn't know about. "How was Sarah?" I asked. "Still drunk." She smiled, quick and practiced. "A mess. I crashed at her place again. I told you I might. You sleep okay?" "Like a rock," I said. On the desk, just out of her sight line, her secret phone lay face down. A bomb with the pin already pulled. She went to shower. I listened to the water turn on, waited for it to settle into that steady background rush. Then I picked up the phone and opened the last thread again. The most recent message sat at the bottom, timestamp 2:15 a.m., sent from my marriage to her future. To Jordan Cole. "I hate lying to him, but being with you feels so right. 3 more months and I can ask for the divorce. Not might, not thinking about it. Can ask." That line hit harder than any picture. Not just that she was cheating, but that my exit had a schedule, like a meeting she was easing onto the calendar. 3 months to line up finances, timing, emotions, and whatever story made her look like the victim. I imagined how it would go if I stayed blind. Year-end bonus in the bank, holidays done, taxes around the corner, then a tearful speech about growing apart and needing to find herself. Maybe a push for alimony. Maybe half of everything I'd built. I put the phone down, screen still glowing with her words, and opened my email instead. The full PI report had come in earlier. I read it once. Now I read it like a manual. Meridian Hotel. Room numbers, dates, times, photos, her car, his car. License plate search. Jordan Cole, 34, personal trainer at Elite Fitness. Cross-referenced with public records. Then the financials. A secret credit card in her name only, statements full of hotels, dinners, luxury crap she'd never mentioned. While she was in the shower, I started working. I created a folder on my laptop, then 2 more in separate cloud drives. I saved everything there. PI report, photos, PDFs of bank statements, screenshots of the messages from the second phone. I printed hard copies and slid them into a manila folder. By the time I was done, it felt less like I was hoarding pain and more like I was building a life raft out of paper and ink. Later that week, when she fell asleep early in our bed, I stepped into the hallway and made the call. "Foster and Green, this is Diane," a woman's voice answered. "Hi," I said, calm. "My name is Ethan Parker. I'd like to talk to someone about filing for divorce. I have proof of infidelity and financial deception, and I want this done fast and clean." My voice didn't shake. It sounded colder than I'd ever heard it. "All right, Mr. Parker," she said. "Let's get to work." Diane Foster didn't flinch at anything I showed her. Her office was clean and simple, glass desk, neat stacks, no drama. I laid the folder down between us. She opened it, flipped through photos of Lauren and Jordan at the Meridian, the PI notes, the secret credit card statements, the screenshots from the second phone. "Mr. Parker," she said finally, "in this state, infidelity and misuse of marital funds still carry weight. You have a very strong case. One of the cleanest I've seen in a while." She said it like we were talking about a project plan, not my life. We went through the boring, crucial things. Timeline, income, assets. She asked where the money for our house down payment came from. "My inheritance," I said. "From my dad." She nodded. "We'll document that clearly as separate property. We'll show your contributions versus hers. And the card she used to fund the affair? That's financial deception. Judges don't like that." That afternoon, the work started. I opened a new bank account in my name only and redirected my paycheck. I pulled statements, highlighted every deposit from my inheritance, every transfer into the joint account. I froze or closed joint credit cards one by one. I updated passwords on everything tied to my identity, email, banking, retirement accounts. At HR, I scheduled a benefits review. We sat in a bland conference room while a woman walked me through options. I listened, asked about timelines to remove a spouse from coverage after a divorce. I took notes like it was any other meeting. At home, I played my role. I cooked dinner twice that week. Asked Lauren about her day. Watched shows with her on the couch. She'd lean into me sometimes out of habit, and I'd let her, feeling nothing. When she said she had team drinks or late gym nights, I'd smile, nod, kiss her on the forehead. Have fun, I'd say. Text me if you need a ride. Behind the scenes, Richard kept sending updates. Another night, another hotel. Same pattern. Photos of Lauren laughing with Jordan in the lobby. His hand low on her back. Their bodies too familiar to pass as anything else. Timestamps lined up perfectly with the, "I'll be home late. Don't wait up," text she sent me. Diane and I built a file. Richard built a record. Lauren built a fantasy. One night, I sat on the edge of our bed while she brushed her teeth, reading a fresh message she'd sent Jordan on the hidden phone. "You're my future. He's just my past hanging on." She came out of the bathroom, wiped her face, slid into bed next to me like nothing was wrong. "Everything okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said, setting my regular phone on the nightstand. "Everything's fine." Lying there in the dark, listening to her breathe, I realized something simple and final. The man who loved Lauren had died the night I smelled that perfume. What was left was someone cold, precise, and done giving her the benefit of the doubt. By the time I decided to end it, I wasn't angry anymore. Anger is loud. What I felt was quiet, like a decision you've already made and just haven't announced yet. She floated the excuse a few days later over breakfast. "Work drinks Thursday," she said, scrolling her phone. "Team's hitting a place downtown. I'll probably be late." I didn't even need to check with Richard to know where she'd end up, but he'd already confirmed it anyway. Meridian Hotel? Jordan? Same pattern. "Sounds fun," I said. "Network hard." She smirked, kissed my cheek, and walked out the door like she still owned the script. Thursday, I took the day off work. First stop, the bank. I sat across from a tired-looking manager while he pulled up our joint account. "I'd like to withdraw half," I said, "and close the account." Legally, it was my right. We signed. He printed. I walked out with my half in a cashier's check and a PDF emailed to me. Paper trail. Next, I called the credit card companies. Joint cards. Closed or frozen. Autopays rerouted. My new individual account is solid. Then I changed the locks, new deadbolts, new keys. Code on the garage reset. I moved my essentials, clothes, documents, laptop, the safe, into my car and drove them to my brother Daniel's place. We stacked boxes in his spare room. I left anything that could be argued over, furniture, decor, hours. Then I went back to the house. Cleaned it. Not a breakdown scrub, just precise. Counters wiped, floors clear. I ordered her favorite takeout, put it in the fridge, and stuck a small note on the container. "Thought you might be hungry when you get home." On the dining table, I set one plate. One glass of wine has already poured. One folded napkin. In the center, I laid the thick manila folder, printed PI report, screenshots, bank records, copies of the secret card statements. On top of that, her copy of the already filed divorce petition, clipped neatly. Beside it, I placed her hidden phone, unlocked, open to her thread with Jordan. The last message visible. Then I took a piece of our wedding stationery and wrote, "You only wore that perfume for me. That's how I knew. You're free to be with Jordan now. My attorney will be in touch. Don't contact me. You're past." I read it once, left it there, and walked through the house slowly, room by room, saying goodbye without saying it out loud. Then I locked the door behind me, for the last time as her husband, and drove to Daniel's place 3 miles away. I didn't look back until I was at the stop sign, and even then only once. Daniel's apartment was quiet except for my phone losing its mind on the table. Calls, texts, voicemails, Lauren moves through every stage of panic in real time. I let it all roll past. The only thing I touched was her email. Subject line, "Please, Ethan." I forwarded it straight to Diane and muted the thread. The doorbell rang 10 minutes later. Through the peephole. Hoodie, sweatpants, mascara smeared, Lauren trying to look small. I opened the door but filled the frame. "Ethan, please, just 5 minutes," she said. "This isn't what you think. Jordan is just your future." I cut in. "I read that part." She flinched. "The locks have changed," I said. "The accounts are split. I took my legal half. My lawyer will handle anything else." Tears came fast. Promises stacked on top of each other. Therapy, cutting him off, starting fresh. Then the turn. "You're overreacting. Everyone texts like that. You're being insane." I watched her face while she talked and finally saw it clearly. Fear, not remorse. Fear of losing control of the story, of the lifestyle, of the safety net. "No," I said, "just that." Then I closed the door and locked it, and this time, I felt nothing. 3 months later, I sat in Diane Foster's office while she slid a small stack of papers across the desk like it was any other Tuesday. "Congratulations," she said. "The judge signed off this morning. It's done." I read the summary House awarded to me. Savings split according to the agreement Diane pushed, weighted in my favor once the affair expenses were factored in. Each of us keeps our own car. No alimony. No ongoing support. "Very clean," Diane said. "Your preparation made this easy. You didn't confront, you didn't blow up, and you kept the evidence intact. Judges like order. You gave them orders." The court had been colder than I expected. Lauren's lawyer tried to make noise about privacy and intrusive surveillance. The judge's face barely moved until Diane walked him through the timeline of hotel visits, the secret credit card, and the way marital funds had been used to pay for her affair. Once money entered the picture, the moral gray turned black and white. Lauren cried in the hallway afterward, trying to catch my eye. I didn't stop. There was nothing left to negotiate. We scheduled one supervised day for her to collect her things. I stayed at Daniel's while she and her sister went through the house. Later, I walked back into bare walls and empty shelves and felt relief instead of loss. I repainted. New bedding. New photos. Anything that carried our old life got boxed or trashed. Slowly the place stopped feeling like ours and started feeling like a place I just happened to own. A month later, I heard through a mutual friend that she and Jordan were already done. Reality had shown up and the fantasy tapped out. I noted it, filed it mentally, and went on with my day. Walking out of Diane's office into the bright afternoon light, decree in my hand, I didn't feel victorious. I just felt clean, free. Life after the divorce wasn't a movie. No montage, just days. The first thing I did was erase her access. Blocked her number, blocked her email. Any message that slipped through went straight to Diane. She tried a few times, long texts, half apologies, half accusations. Then once she showed up at my office, eyes wide, playing a shocked ex-wife. Security walked her out. I watched from behind glass and went back to my spreadsheet. The old house started to feel like a museum I didn't want to walk through anymore, even with fresh paint. So I sold it. Clean deal, decent profit. I took the money and bought a condo downtown. Floor-to-ceiling windows, clean lines, no history. I finished it slowly. One couch I actually liked. A bed I chose alone. A table that fit just 4 chairs, not 6 for future dinner parties. Nothing in there reminded me of vows or hotel rooms or buried phones. Just wood, glass, steel, and quiet. At work, I was just Parker from accounting again. Eventually, I said yes when Sarah Mitchell from our floor asked if I wanted to grab coffee. She knew I was divorced. Office gossip moves fast. We talked about nothing heavy. Music, terrible clients, the weird glory of a Friday with no plans. I didn't promise her anything. Didn't try to be more ready than I was. It just felt good to sit across from someone new and not be lying to myself. On the anniversary of the night I hired the PI, I took myself out to dinner. Alone. Steak, good wine, dessert I didn't need. No phone on the table. No waiting for a text that would hurt. I raised my glass to nobody and thought, you made it. That's enough. Some nights, when it's late and the city's quiet, I wonder if Lauren regrets any of it. Me, the house, the life. Most nights, I don't think about her at all. That perfume she once wore only for me ended up being the alarm clock I needed. It taught me that love without trust is worthless, that excuses fold under evidence, and that I'm calmer, harder, and stronger than I ever planned to be. For the first time in my adult life, my home, my time, and my future actually feel like they belong to me.
Subscribe and stay one step ahead of cheaters. And trust me, the next story makes this one look like a fairy tale.